kind of devil are you? How could you know that on January 12th, 1967, I gave birth to a baby girl?
Do you expect me to forget my birth date? Take a good look at your daughter, Mother.
You're evil, and you're dangerous. And I can't stand to listen to any more of this.
No, you will listen to me. You walked out on me once already. You sold me some preacher that I called Papa. You thought you'd washed your hands of me. Well, surprise, Gina. Your little girl's back, and you're going to listen to every word she has to say to you.
It's all lies.
What's the matter? After all these years of cheating and manipulating, don't tell me that a little thing like selling a child is going to bring some guilt out of Gina Capwell.
I didn't sell my baby. I love my baby. I would never have given my baby up for anything. My baby died. Lionel! Hello, Lockridge residence?
Lionel, please. This is C.C. Kappa.
Mr. Lockridge isn't here at the moment. Would you care to leave a message?
Yes, I have a message for him, all right. And if that bulldozer and tractor or any of the other digging paraphernalia moves 1 inch closer to my property, I'll be able to deliver my message in person.
I'll tell him you called.
I'd appreciate it. And if you're Lionel's new maid, you'd better demand your salary in cash and in advance.
I'll take that under advisement. Goodbye, Mr. Capwell.
Mother, I'm sorry we deserted you. Lionel and I were just taking a walk in the moonlight.
Yeah, I was just making sure that the excavation equipment was in place there.
Well, your neighbor, Mr. Capwell, seems to think it's in the wrong place.
Oh.
He just called for you, and he sounded very unhappy.
Well, he's going to be a lot more unhappy before it's over because there's no stopping it now. We are going to dig on his place, and so I suppose I'm going to have to go and tell him personally that nothing's going to stop us. Are you going to come, Jane?
Oh, yes. Maybe we can reason with him now that we have the state of California on our side.
The last president, the reason with Cece was his nanny. Caroline, I hate to leave you all alone here.
But she doesn't have anything to do with the project.
No, Jane's right. You two go on alone. After listening to Mr. Capwell on the telephone, I wouldn't relish walking into a lion's den.
Well, a lion can roar as loudly and as long as he wants. Because frankly, there isn't a damn thing he can do about it. Caroline, make yourself at home. Listen, you ought to be glad if you don't have to meet Cece.
I talked to Keith while you were gone. I told him about the earrings.
What? Tori, I didn't want you to go through that. So what happened? What did he say?
I told him exactly what Eden wanted and what I wanted to do, too. I lied to him.
What did you tell him?
I told him that the earrings were mine, yes, and that they were a gift from you. I told him that Katie and I had argued that day and that I had been cruel and angry and it had made her very desperate. But I did not tell him that we had argued at the beach. I told him it was someplace else, that Katie had taken the earrings and she ran off with them. I know you're disappointed in me, but I accomplished the two things that I set out to do. One, I admitted to Keith how I treated Katie, and secondly, I kept you out of it.
Then you can count on him not believing you.
No, I think he did. It makes perfect sense why she would have gone to the beach. And you know something? If he believes it, it's all over then.
Eden thinks we told him the truth.
But I think she'll be glad that we didn't. Because now you have no longer any reason to see me. And I'll no longer pose a threat to your relationship.
If there is a relationship?
Of course there is. You couldn't lose it that fast. Or could you?
We said some pretty bad things.
You really think it might be over between the two of you?
You're a selfish woman. I'm beginning to think your kind of love isn't love at all.
Cruz, I do love you.
You could have returned my call, Lionel. A personal visit was hardly necessary.
Well, I felt it was. I wanted to ask you one more time whether you will cooperate voluntarily with us, eh?
If that machinery of yours moves 1 inch more onto my property, I'll cooperate by demolishing it.
Oh, I see. I thought perhaps you'd come to grips with reality, but instead, as usual, you have retired into your delusions of grandeur.
Well, at least my delusions don't require heavy machinery.
Uh-huh. Well, you see, Julia has a court order. But I was hoping to excavate with your blessing.
Let me tell you something. Just get this straight in your head, Lionel. I don't even want you around my house. And you expect me to give you my blessing to destroy my house?
Mr. Capwell, the humanitarian benefits that could be reached by this discovery...
Are you talking humanitarian or are you talking reptilian? Because the only way he's going to benefit mankind is if he locks himself up in a room.
Why don't you let Jane make her point?
Please, Jane.
Several prestigious universities have already expressed their interest in this find. It would be of immeasurable value to the paleontologic community.
Wonderful.
So why don't you come down to the house and we'll discuss the magnitude of this discovery.
I've heard enough, Lionel. Bye-bye.
Okay, we'll be home all evening.
By the way, if you want to talk about fossils, I can always dig into my study and dig up all those canceled deeds and titles of properties that you used to own that I do now.
How could Sophia ever put up with you?
Don't bring her into this.
By the way, I heard your marriage was called off.
You're out of line.
Really? Well, let me tell you something. The whys of that may not be my business, but if you ever hurt Sophia, I'll make it my business. Got it?
Happy belated birthday.
Mason, how uncharacteristically sweet. What made you think today wasn't my birthday?
Tools of the trade, my dear. Omnipotence isn't the only asset that comes with the DA's office. Open it.
Yeah. Santa Barbara can rest easy now, knowing that you're in office to see that justice prevails and privacy evaporates.
Well, I'll concede that I did go through your records as public defender.
You mean you know how old I am?
And also that I went through your files, both personal and personnel, and that's when your date of birth just leapt out at me.
Like a trout.
Exactly. So I immediately cast about to fish something up for you.
I thought I said no.
Hear that, Julia? That's opportunity. Chance for you to cast off the sackcloth of servitude and join the ranks of the steadily employed.
You can always wear it as a brooch.
I don't have to tell you the gratification your acceptance would give me.
I don't think I like the sound of that.
No, you don't have to give me an answer tonight, Julia. You mull it over. I'll be satisfied as long as I get an answer by the crack of dawn. Happy birthday.
You can't even face me now, can you?
Who told you about this so you could hurt me with it? Was it Mason? My baby died!
I'm not dead, Gina. Although I'm sure you'd wish I was.
Maybe it was Cece. This is more like something he'd do.
Do you want me to tell you what they did to me? People that you sold me to.
No. No more.
The woman who was my mother was actually very nice. She never once hit me. As a matter of fact, I don't remember her touching me at all. She never held me. Never hugged me. Never even talked to me unless I asked her a question. Oh, but she was an angel compared to my father. Did he give you the money? No, she probably did. She's the one who told me about it.
Told you about what?
When I was 7 years old, I started crying one night because I didn't want to go out there anymore and pretend that I was deaf and have my father heal me. That was the night she told me. I couldn't stop crying. So she came back and said to me, "You cost us $500 and you're going to work until it's paid off."
Really? It's a terrible story. But you're not my daughter.
Those are the kind of people you sold me to. A drunken father and a cold-hearted mother. They used me at their fake healing sessions. And when afterwards, my father would lead them all in prayer, and I would stand up there, and I would look into that audience, and I
I would pray that my real mother was out there, that she would come and save me from this nightmare. But you never did that, did you? Oh, when I found out who you were, I knew what I had to do. I had to go out and find a name for myself and find some power so I could come face to face with you. A woman who was so heartless that she sold her own child. Oh, I hated my parents, but it is nothing compared to the hate I feel for you.
Really? I think you really believe this. I really do, but my baby's dead. I don't know how you found out this story, but you need help. You're deluded. It's a sickness. You need psychiatric help.
Considering what you put me through, I'm surprised I wasn't committed to a mental institution. And I wasn't. I was strong just like you. I persevered. And here I am to spend some time with you, Mom.
You got my daughter. My daughter's dead.
All right, Gina. Then let's play your game. When did your daughter die?
Hey, that's none of your business.
How did she die?
Stop it.
There had to be a doctor there. Where did she die? Just go away. Leave me alone. Where's the little body buried, Gina?
Wasteful. So stupid.
I never knew what happened that night. About your accident. Why didn't you tell me? Couldn't you have written a letter at least? Don't you know? Don't you understand that I have been running away my whole life? Cruz, I would never, ever have left you if I'd known I mattered to you at all.
Hey, are you all right, lady?
I don't know.
Okay, let me take a look at that. You banged your head pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, you aren't going to notify the police, are you?
Sorry, we're gonna have to get you to the hospital. Why'd you pick down here to drive, anyway?
Somebody else picked it. A long time ago.
Come on, Eden, pick up the phone.
We're not home right now, but if you'll leave a message at the sound of the tone, we'll get back to you as soon as possible.
Well, I guess I am going to head out of here.
Well, good luck and thanks.
For what?
I asked you to help me put Katie's death behind me, and you did. I think I made some headway.
Oh, if you'll excuse me if I think that's still debatable.
Okay. But either way, I'm not changing my mind.
About leaving here? About staying here?
Yeah, leaving Santa Barbara was the biggest mistake I've ever made, and I'm not going to make it again.
It was a mistake? You went to L.A. and turned into a big TV star. You are the American dream, kiddo.
Right. The American dream. Small-town girl heads for Hollywood seeking fame and fortune. Well, yes, that's exactly what I wanted until I got it. And then suddenly I became this unfulfilled person running from Hollywood to New York, meeting all the right people, going to all the right parties, and dating all the right men. And all the while, deep inside, all that I was looking for was exactly what I had right back here before I left.
Tori, you mentioned that you had a friend.
Yeah, Martin.
The two of you live together?
Yeah, it seems to work out best when he's on the road and I'm working a lot.
He's an actor.
Oh, no. Tennis player. Marty Ellis.
Marty, I've heard of him, right? He's good.
Oh, yeah, he's real good. Hope he's happy.
Sounds like he hasn't made you happy.
Well, at least he didn't get jealous over my career like my actor boyfriends did, but then why should he? But when we moved in together, he got jealous in different ways. I had to account for every minute of my day. When he was on the road, he would call the house every night at 9 o'clock, and heaven help me if I wasn't there. It got a little exhausting.
Tell me about it. Yeah, I can imagine.
So one of the reasons that I decided to do the tour of the play is I told him that it would be like a trial separation, and I thought I'd be able to ease my way out of it, Well, that is the gory Tory story. Ugh. So you went away for a while, too, huh?
Yeah, like I told you, I did some wildcatting, and that turned into hell fighting.
Oh, that's the oil fire?
Yeah. Did a little work for the intelligence community, and let's talk about that. You know, some crazy stuff.
Dangerous, no doubt, huh?
I don't know, it's kind of like you, I guess. I was looking for something. Except that I found it when I met Eden.
Well, suppose you lose her.
I'm not gonna lose her.
But you just said
Walking out of her tonight was a mistake. You see, giving up is not what we're about.
I envy you. And I envy her. But you know that.
I hope you find it, Tori. Or it finds you.
Good night.
Orient Express. May I help you? Who's calling, please? The hospital. Just a moment. Is Inspector Castillo still here?
No. He's not coming back.
I'm sorry, you just missed him.
You're not looking for your mother, Lily. You're looking for an easy mark. You heard I was going to marry C.C. Capwell again, and so you thought you'd cash in on the resemblance.
Gina, I may be your daughter, but I'm nothing like you. I would never blackmail someone for money. I would never sell a child for money.
You don't know anything about me, Lily. Once I lost that baby, I found Brandon, and I adopted him. I love him so much, I would kill to protect him, Lily. Don't you think that if I had a daughter, I would search to the end of this earth to find her if I thought she survived? I have proof. Show me.
My driver's license. The birth date, 1/12/67.
So you were born on the same day. Or you and Mason faked it.
And here is your whole life history, all the way back to where you married Stockman DeMott.
I've already seen this before, Lily. Remember? You showed it to me. And then you said that Mason gave it to you.
I was lying. The woman you sold me to gave it to me.
Lily Light, the leader of the meek and the needy. She lied since the first day she came to Santa Barbara. But now, today, lo and behold, she's going to tell the truth. Well, what about tomorrow, Lily?
I have more proof.
I have evidence that'll prove beyond a doubt that my daughter died. I guess I'm going to have to show it to you to end this little fantasy you're living in.
Fine. Get it.
I'll be back in half an hour. Oh, why don't you call Mason and any other people you have involved in this scam so I can show it to you all at the same time? I'll get a police injunction if I have to, Lily, to stop you from harassing me. I hated you before, but it's nothing compared to the feelings I have for you now. I pity your mother, the woman who actually gave birth to a monster like you.
Well, you were very fortunate. If you'd been driving any faster, well, the accident could have been much more serious for you.
You wouldn't happen to know if Cruz Castillo was notified yet, would you?
Yeah, the nurse was trying to reach him on the phone, but I don't think she had any luck. She did reach your father, however, and he's on his way.
Do you think you might be able to call him and tell him not to come? I mean, this whole thing's sort of getting out of hand.
Yeah, well, emergencies have that way of happening. You can't predict them. Do you feel well enough to head home?
Actually, I do feel a little sore.
Well, why don't you rest here a while? Well, at least until your father or someone comes to pick you up.
But you'll make sure to call Cruz Castillo again, will you?
Yeah, I'll make certain of it.
Damn it, Cruz, where are you?
Eden?
His answering machine picked it up.
Should I leave a message?
No, thanks anyway.
Assistant District Attorney. Whoa. Hey, this could be a big step for you, huh?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure it's one I'm willing to take.
Now, I don't suppose that if you accept this offer from Mason, that you'd be able to represent me in a court fight against Cece.
What court fight?
Well, you know he's not going to let me excavate without going to court over it.
There's not going to be a lawsuit, Lionel. This thing is cut and dried.
You don't know Cece.
Look, you and I are family. And even if Augusta's gone, job or no job, I know where my loyalties are.
You know something? Mason is not the only one who remembered your birthday. Albeit belatedly, all right? But this came for you while you were in the courthouse.
There comes a time when it's rude to remember a woman's birthday. Luckily, you haven't reached that point. Sorry this is a bit late, but it was on time. But if it was on time, you'd never believe it was from me. I love you and I miss you, Augusta. I didn't think anyone remembered.
I'm embarrassed to say that with all the hoopla over the excavation and everything, I didn't get shopping, but we do have some rather nice champagne, and Caroline has gotten some very nice hors d'oeuvres. Mademoiselle, would you do me the honor of being a guest at your belated dinner party?
I would love to.
Happy birthday, Julie. I'll go get Caroline Jane.
Oh, no, they called you too?
Is that any kind of greeting for the concerned brother?
Well, I just threw Daddy out a couple of minutes ago. It's kind of embarrassing to have everybody come down here.
I hardly think that an automobile accident is something to be embarrassed about, Eden.
I know, I'm fine, really.
What happened?
I was just driving my car and I lost control. It happened kind of sudden.
The nurse said that you hit a fence at the end of a runway out at the airport.
It wasn't an active runway.
Did it happen to be the same runway where Cruz crashed his motorcycle, chasing his old girlfriend's plane?
How would I know?
Just seems to be some sort of symbolic gesture on your part to me.
All right, Cruz and I, we had an argument. I was upset.
And you thought that admission to the emergency room would bring Cruz running?
I don't care if he comes or not.
I gather he hasn't yet. You want me to call him? I can make it intensely dramatic.
The nurse called a few minutes ago. He's not home.
I see. Well, how much longer will they let you occupy this room before your gesture goes for naught?
I don't really think it matters very much.
Eden, I think you're overreacting. Cruz will be here.
No, he won't. I think I've ruined things for the two of us. He may have even gone to prison just because of me.
Trust me. I'd know.
Then I don't even want to think of where he could be.
Darling. I saw you through the window. I thought you were reading.
Still no word from her?
What are you doing out here this time of night?
Oh, I was out taking a walk. No, it's not true. I followed you from the Orient Express. I was going to knock on the door, but I didn't think that was the most discreet thing to do in the world, so I came out here, sat on a rock, and tried to figure out what to do next.
Uh-huh. Maybe you should go home.
You know, I denied it before, but Eden was right. I I do invent excuses to see you. After tonight with Keith, I don't have any more excuses. I wish I did.
Well, I'm going to go inside now, Tori.
No, wait a minute, okay? Look, I made a mistake before that cost us a lot with Katie. Because I didn't know what my own motives were. But now my eyes are wide open, and I know exactly why I'm here. You see, there's a part of me that thought maybe you needed somebody if you and Eden really did break up, and I wanted that somebody to be me.
Like I told you before, I'm not going to lose Eden.
Yes, you did tell me that. Also, there's another part of me that wanted to tell you that when you find her, go easy on her, okay? She's been right all along. Her insecurity was not unfounded. Many of the things that she accused me of were true. You know, I'm not gonna bore you with the overt declarations or anything, but you know, I figured you know me well enough so I wouldn't have to go into it. I told you that after I found success, there was still something missing, and I didn't know what it was. And you know what? I lied. I knew exactly what it was. Sometimes at the beach in L.A., the sun would start to set, and I get all these memories flooding back, you know. And I get into my car, and I go out to this little place near the airport where I could watch the planes come in and take off. I used to sit there for hours, you know, just thinking and remembering.
You know something? I don't think you and I could ever get it back. Even if Eden were to leave me. Even if I'd never met her.
Oh, I think I believe you. Besides, you know, you wouldn't trust me anyway, because I ran out on you once, or no, ran out on you twice. And I don't want you to encourage me, because I honestly don't know what I would do. I guess, you know, dreams die hard. Maybe that's what first love is like, huh? Always.
What are you doing?
There's no point in hanging around here, is there?
What? Eden, you've come this far. It seems a waste of perfectly good theatrics to give it up now.
Yeah, well, the whole thing is pretty much a whole washout, don't you think?
Eden, you've got to trust Cruz's love enough to not expect him to do handsprings and somersaults for you every day of his life.
Yeah, well, he did them for Victoria, didn't he?
Well, look what Romeo did for Juliet. I'm of the opinion that had they lived, it wouldn't have worked out.
Mason, I told Daddy that Cruz was going to come pick me up. Don't tell him any different, okay?
You want me to drop you off somewhere?
No, I'm going to go to the Orient Express. I feel like being alone. Who knows, maybe I should just get used to that.
Oh, that's the spirit. Positive thinking. Listen, if you're planning an orgy of self-pity, I know any number of pathetic people be happy to join you.
Everything's a joke with you, isn't it?
No, it isn't at all, Eden. I'm just trying to convince you that you're wrong about Cruz. And you're definitely wrong about being alone. At least as long as I'm around.
So, what have you been doing since you left Washington?
You know, I feel so foolish I can't recall our
Don't worry about
introduction
it.
there.
Don't worry about it. We only really met once. I worked in a law firm there, and we frequented some of the same parties. In fact, the person that you're with, I think, was political, if I remember.
Oh, him.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes. Both our escorts were fascinating. They spent the whole evening talking to each other. I was bored to tears, but you managed to look alert.
Oh, I carry a thumbtack to sit on for just such occasions. Was your escort your husband?
No. Was yours?
No. My husband and I divorced when Jane was still little. Do you have any children, Julia?
No, I don't. Well, when I was younger, I wanted to wait till after I went through law school and started a practice. No, I wish I hadn't. I kept saying maybe next year. Now I'm saying maybe next month.
Oh, you've never been married?
No. I don't think that's in the cards for me.
I mean, a woman with your looks and a lawyer, and I mean, certainly you must have. You listen to me. I'm not sure why it is. It only takes 2 glasses of champagne, and I start asking these obnoxious personal questions I would never ask.
It's okay. It's not that I'm immune to falling in love. It's just that when I do, I keep falling until I hit rock bottom.
Oh, I know what you mean. I'm still looking for the man that I could spend the rest of my life with. Maybe we should trade Little Black Books.
Trust me, you wouldn't want mine.
Maybe we should burn them.
It looks as if your mother and Julie are having a good time.
She always has a good time. She's the original good time girl.
Oh, everyone, I have an early day tomorrow. I think I'm going to have to go.
Oh, so soon?
Thank you very much. I enjoyed this.
I'll walk you to your car.
Okay.
Good night, Julia.
Ah, Jane, thank you. Good night. And Caroline, it was really nice talking to you. I hope we get to do that again soon.
Well, I'll be looking forward to it. And happy post-birthday. I was out shopping today, and I thought you might like this.
You shouldn't be buying me. Looks like something Roxanne would wear.
Who's Roxanne?
This is the man crazy friend I have.
Oh, wait, now, if you don't like it, we can take it
I didn't
back.
say I didn't like it. Thank you. That was thoughtful.
You know, I've never met any of your college friends. Will I get to meet Roxanne?
No. Which is too bad. She is exactly the kind of girl you would have wanted for your daughter.
Jane, you are exactly the kind of girl I want for my daughter.
You don't have to lie to me.
Mason?
Ah, the White Knight arrives just in time for the floor show.
Where's Eden?
I'm told that there's some dancing nurses due
I
here
asked you
any
where
minute.
Eden is?
Eden is on the horns of a dilemma. Or you could try a bar stool at the Orient Express.
I guess she's all right then if they let her leave?
Oh, physically, yeah. A few bumps and bruises, which is fortunate considering the shape her car was in.
Yeah, I already spoke to the station. I told them to leave it where it was. I want to see it.
Your time might be better spent with Eden, Cruz. She's a very insecure young woman these days. I think some reassurance might do her good.
It hasn't so far. I mean, if it was something I was doing, I could fix it. But it's mostly of her own doing.
Well, do you think that makes any difference? If people start getting self-destructive, attention has to be paid. Just knowing you shot yourself in the foot doesn't make the bleeding stop.
We'll get through this.
What's this supposed to prove?
Can't you read, Lily? It's the death certificate. Officially signed, sealed, and delivered.
What corner did you sleep with to get that?
Oh, what do I have to do? Dig up the body for you?
This is the body right here. Look, I have fought hard, and no matter how many times that man you sold me to beat me, I swore I would not give up the fight. And now that I've found you, I am not about to give it up.
You think you had it tough? I was 13 years old when my baby died, Lily. 13 years old!
Maybe I don't want to hear this after all.
I told him I was open.
Who?
The boy. Oh, he was captain of the football team at high school.
What was his name?
Scardelli. Charlie Scardelli. All the girls were crazy about him. They all wanted to go out with him, but he looked at me. And he talked to me. So I told him I was old enough. Thought that was going to be it. I was sure I loved him. I was going to spend the rest of my life with Charlie. And then I found out I was pregnant.
Did he know?
I actually thought he'd be happy when he found out. He told me. Yeah, how do I know I'm the father? Daddy made sure he got out of town. And when my mother found out, she called the school, told them I had mononucleosis, and locked me up inside my room.
Where was the baby born?
Right there. Right there in my room. My mother delivered her. She was so tiny. So beautiful. And so sick. I was sick, too. I mean, I was 13 years old. No doctor, no anesthesia. So my mother took her to the hospital. She said they'd take care of her, and she had to stay there until she was strong enough to survive surgery. So I lay there in my bed with 103 temperature, making plans for me and Jacqueline. I narrowed it down from over 100 names. I crocheted a little sweater for her. Her mom put it on before she took her to the hospital, and it fit just grand. I was gonna monogram initials on it. Jacqueline Marie Blake. But I never got the chance. Because one day my mother came home from the hospital, and she told me that my baby had died. I didn't want to leave the room. I didn't want to leave the house. I didn't want to live. But I did. Here you are. You seen the death certificate? You put me through this hell all over again. Now why don't you just leave me alone?
No, not until I show you what I have.
Here he is, the great Cruz Castillo.
Are you all right?
I'm fine. It's been about 10 days since my accident.
I asked a simple question. Are you all right?
I'm fine. You can go back to whatever important business you dragged yourself away from, or whoever it was important.
Why were you driving down that runway?
Well, I answered that question to the people who showed up there and the people who cared enough to show up at the hospital.
So I failed another test. I want you to come home with me.
Do I still have a home with you?
All right. We both said some pretty cold things to each other, but we were angry, and I don't think we meant them.
Well, I'm sorry. I don't have the emotional resilience that you do. When I feel like our relationship is threatened, it takes me a couple of minutes to bounce back. Were you at home?
Yeah.
Well, you weren't answering the phone. Or weren't you alone?
You're coming with me.
Where?
You'll see.
Yeah, I hope once in a while you go out and raise Cain with your contemporaries.
I enjoy what I'm doing, Mother.
Well, you get your friend Roxanne to take you out and go dancing and have yourself just a terribly useless good time.
Roxanne isn't my friend. I made her up.
Oh. Then I guess she'll never get to borrow that dress. Baby, you don't need to make up friends for me.
I didn't. I did it for myself. I thought it would be easier to talk to guys that way. I don't know, I just wanted to prove that I could do it. I mean, what did it matter to them what my name was?
Well, wasn't any of their business either.
Exactly.
Well, I think it's a hoot. I wish I'd thought of it.
Had its moment. And at least Roxanne took all of your beauty tips.
Oh, I don't know. I think most mothers' advice is probably best ignored. And I, for one, like Jane just the way she is.
Mr. Caldwell, I am so glad you changed your mind.
No, I didn't change my mind. The court order changed my mind. Evidently, Lionel does have a legal leg to stand on. I just want you to tell him that if even a bird bath is disturbed by the digging, he won't have any legs to stand on.
Would you care to tell him yourself?
No, I'm sorry. I didn't realize you had guests.
This is my mother, Caroline Wilson. Mother, this is Mr. C.C. Caldwell.
Sorry. Disturb your evening.
Not at all. You know, Lily, I'm really not interested in seeing any more newspaper clippings
These
about
aren't newspaper clippings, Gina. My foster mother gave them to me when she died. Actually, was very thoughtful of her. When she was dying, she pulled me over to her and told me what a burden I'd been to her. And I was never worth the cost of what they paid for me. So, to put more salt into the wound, she gave me these things to remind me that my real mother never wanted me either.
I've heard these lyrics before. Where's the proof?
This is the rattle that I had when I was sold. And this is the hospital bracelet that I was wearing.
Lily, anybody could have had those things made up.
And then I had this blanket.
So that was the blanket that went with the rattle, that went with the baby that became Lily Light. Look, I have heard all of this, but I don't believe it, and I don't deserve this. And I can't stand to listen to it anymore.
Gina, you said you crocheted something, remember?
This is what I was wearing when they bought me.
That belonged to my baby. Oh, God.
Why did you bring me out here?
To find out why you did something so crazy. Eden, you could have been killed.
Well, I don't want to look at it.
Well, then just tell me what the hell you were trying to prove.
I don't know.
I want you to tell me.
I guess I wanted to show you that I love you as much as you love Victoria.
Baby, that's not the way I want to be loved. Baby, Tori and I are nothing now. From you, I expect a lifetime. You promised it to me, and I am damn well going to hold you to it.
I wasn't sure you still wanted me.
Are you crazy? I mean, how could you even want... How could you not... No, how would you... Sorry, too. I know I said some terrible things to you.
No, it was my fault. I was the one that forced you and...
What's wrong?
Victoria's perfume.
What?
When I was here, when I was at the hospital, were you with her?
Stay with TV 10 for the Daily News, named the outstanding news organization in the Mid-Atlantic region.